get going, and if others come in, then they'll have to catch up. Hi everyone, I'm James Edgley. Thanks for joining tonight. I'm the Sports Development Manager for Barnet and Southgate College. So just a little bit about how this is going to work tonight. We have Gemma Wheatman, who's our athletics partner, partnership director for Imperium Sport. She's going to talk to you specifically about the athletics and about how that works, the training, etc., etc. And then I will talk to you about the college, about the academics and sport and being a student athlete at the college more widely. And then we will have some questions and answers. If you think of any questions throughout the session, then pop them in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, and I will make sure that we try to answer any and all as much as possible. Similarly, you'll have the chat box on the right-hand side, where our colleague who's in the background, Nick, will be putting perhaps some links that's relevant to what we're talking about, information pages, etc., etc. So by all means, pop that up and have a look if you want to access some more avenues of information. But you'll hear from me in a little bit. In the meantime, let me throw over to Gemma, who's going to share her screen to present to you on the athletics programme. Okay, Gem?
Okay, thank you very much, James. Hi guys, thank you for joining us. I'm going to switch you over now so that you can see my presentation. Okay, so my name's Gemma Wheatman. I am the one of the programme directors of the Barnet Southgate Athletics Academy. My contact details are on the screen there, but I will make sure that they're all shared with you moving forwards anyway. So today we're going to be talking about why you'd want to be a student athlete with us at Barnet Southgate College, about how being part of the college means that we can make it so that being a student and an athlete work well together. Get your high quality coaching, your strength and conditioning, your therapy, everything holistically in together. And we're going to go through all the details to do with that. So first of all, why would you join us? So we have your athletics covered, obviously, being an athletics academy, but we also have your strength and conditioning. We give you your sports therapy, and we have your timetables that we can help to modify so that you come to as much training as possible. So in with your athletics coaching, you've got a number of different athletics coaches that are all highly qualified and very experienced, and a lot of them have been high-level athletes themselves as well, which I'll go into a little bit further moving forwards. Strength and conditioning. Now, the reason it says 2 to 4 athletics sessions is because we have 4 sessions a week. And depending on how many sessions you come to, but also depending on what we're doing within our conditioning sessions, you may do some track along with conditioning, or you might just be doing a gym conditioning session. So it depends how much track or field work you do in a week as to that week. But you will have 2 conditioning sessions every week as well. So that could be strength and conditioning in the gym, or it could be out on the track doing conditioning and strength exercises to both help you be a little bit more resilient, but also make it so that you can be a bit more efficient actually out on the track applying your forces or whatever event it is that you do. Sports therapy, now that's one of the big strengths that you get from our programme as well. We've got a lead therapist, Alex, that I'm going to tell you a bit more about shortly, but we like to give you as much sports therapy as we can at a number of your sessions to both help you recover from injuries, but also to hopefully prevent you from getting any injuries and teach you a bit more about your body and how to maximise it and stop yourself getting injured, basically. Timetables, now James will tell you a little bit more about that moving forwards, but being part of Barnet Southgate College, we're actually committed to trying to help make it so that you can come to as many training sessions as possible, rather than, I know when I was a student, my days used to be really long. I had a really long college day, then I had to go training that wouldn't start until say 6 o'clock, maybe that would finish at 8 o'clock. By the time you've got home, you don't have time to do your studies, to do your coursework, whatever it might be. Come into us, we try and make your sessions what we call twilight, if not during the day. So that means that your session should finish by say 5:30 at the latest, ideally, which means obviously then you can go home, have your dinner, relax, do your coursework, whatever it may be. So being with us means that you get all of those things holistically involved, along with other things as well that I'll come into in a moment. Okay, so a little bit more about some of our key members of our team. Myself first, so I actually was a Great Britain heptathlete in my time. I also have taught BTEC sports and foundation degrees. I got a first class honours degree myself in sport and exercise science at Brunel University, and I'm one of the main college links at the because I used to actually be a teacher there. So I like to help students if they're struggling with their assignments, talk things through, and be there for students not only as a coach, but a little bit of a coach mentor, making sure that you can get through your college life in the best way, really. So be successfully both as an athlete and successful as a student as well. I'm qualified myself in athletics coaching, personal training and sports massage. So I can provide, again, a holistic approach to it all. Mark Findlay, he's our other program director and he's our head coach. He was an international sprinter himself, very highly experienced, competing on the international stage, and he is a fantastic asset to the program. He's really good at mentoring the athletes, and if you work hard, he will be your biggest asset. He will be there behind you every step of the way. He can help mentor you through your competitions, every area that you're going to need, as well as his fantastic technical knowledge and whatever else. If you're going to be lazy, then you're probably not going to do well on our program anyway. But I'm sure that's not going to be any of you lot. So commit to it. Mark's going to be one of your biggest people fighting your corner. Alex, he's our lead therapist. He's based up in Loughborough. He's one of their lead sprint coaches up there and therapists. He trained under a fantastic Great Britain therapist himself. I've been treated by him. He's brilliant, and he's really, I know a couple of you actually have already spoken to him who've got little niggles and things. We'll put you in touch with him already to start the process rolling. He's really good, really helpful, and he leads. We don't only have him as a therapist, we have intern therapists too, and he leads that. So he's the main communication and the main lead to all of our therapy. Martina is our head strength and conditioning coach. She has her master's in strength and conditioning, and she's also UKSCA qualified. So she was actually an international sprinter for Malta too. So she knows the gym inside out, as well as the track and how to apply gym to athletics, which is a massive asset. I know a lot of people that have their athletics coaches but don't really know what to do in the gym, or they're just doing a little bit of old school circuits or whatnot. Martina's really good at both breaking it down, teaching people the techniques and the skills, and then making sure that you guys can get the most out of it. And when you are competing on the track, for one, you're going to stay in one piece, hopefully. And for two, you've got a lot more power, explosivity, strength to be able to then be the most efficient. She's also a fantastic baker and brings along treats every now and then as a bonus. Niall, he actually came through the academy structure himself as well. So he's both been a student athlete and now he's a fantastic coach. His main background is sprints, but he's really good at his biomechanical knowledge, his injury prevention, his injury rehabilitation. He's really good and really technical as well. So he's a great asset into our program. We do have a number of other coaches and staff members on board, but I'm not going to go through them all with you today. Hopefully you'll meet them all in time. Okay, so full-time versus part-time. So we've got two different ways that you could be part of our academy. So if you're going to come with us full-time, that means that we're going to cover everything for you. Your track or field, your strength and conditioning, your fitness work, all that sort of thing. We'll provide your sports therapy, we'll go over your nutrition, all those sorts of areas, and you'll train with us 3 to 4 times a week. So you're really committing into it. If you're going to come to us part-time, now there's a couple of different reasons you might be part-time with us. It could be that you've already got a coach externally. If you're already at a club, if you've already got a fantastic, I don't know, javelin coach, and you want to stay with that group, great. Come to us, maybe for your strength and conditioning, your sports therapy, your all the other areas that we can help you out with, and obviously your education as well. All right, we can add to what you're already doing. We don't have to take you away from that. Okay, so as I say, that could be that you've already got your technical event coach and group that you get on well with. It could be that you do a different sport outside and that you want to come and improve on your speed and your fitness and things with us. Or it might be that you're a beginner athlete and you don't want to be training 4 times a week. That's fine, so long as you commit to us 2 days a week and you're a positive person within our training group, that's fine. A number of people do ask me, do we have to be of a certain standard to come to your academy? No, you don't. The joy of athletics is that you can be any standard and you can come and be part of our academy. All right, everybody is an individual. The only thing that we ask for is that you are a positive member of our group. Okay, you can have somebody who's not the fastest person, but they're optimistic, they're positive, they're good fun to be around, they train hard. They'll be a fantastic training partner. Okay, so it's not about, are you the best athlete in the world? Obviously that helps, but it can also be that you just want to come to us 2 days a week, experience what it's like to train as an athlete and get all this high level knowledge and input and do your studies. All right, so as I say, you might just come to us for your strength and conditioning if you've already got another coach, come for your sports therapy and just train with us 2 or 3 days a week, depending on what you're doing externally or if you're doing things externally. Okay, so how does it work throughout our normal week and year? So a typical week, as I say, there's 4 training sessions a week. It's structured generally 2 track, 2 gym or conditioning sessions. As I said earlier, those 2 conditioning sessions may well have track elements to them. So quite often we might do some sled runs before going in the gym, for example. Or whatever else it might be. So it's not always just gym sessions. And at the moment, it's not gym anyway. We're doing conditioning using TheraBands, doing explosive exercises, doing body weight exercises, because obviously the gyms aren't accessible. But we are back now training because we're part of education. So we are now doing our track and gym sessions back with our coaches again, which is fantastic. Sports therapy, so every week we have therapists at the sessions. They may not be at every single session, but we make them at as many sessions as possible. Sports therapy obviously isn't just for if you've got an injury, it's also to help prevent an injury. So it might just be that you need a bit of massage. It might be that you've got a little bit of a niggle, something's a little bit tight. We try and do therapy trackside. So that what that means is the massage couch is in sight of the track. If you're doing your warm-up, something's a little bit sore, you can go over to the therapist, say this is sore, they might have a little work, a little loosen out, you can go back, continue your warm-up, and it may well have loosened straight back out again. So they can see how you're doing everything, implement your therapy, and you can go back into the session is the ideal way. And work experience, I don't know how much you all know about work experience, but when you're at college, you have to do some. We can help with that. All right, I'm going to go on a little bit more shortly about how we've helped some of our current athletes with their work experience. And then throughout a typical year. So it always starts with a conditioning. So no matter if you're a shot putter, a sprinter, a middle distance runner, everybody starts by working on their fitness, their just general base conditioning, all right? Even if you're a shot putter, you still need to do runs, you still need to get fit, all right? So everyone does conditioning at the beginning. Then as the year starts to go on, we move into the technical events, we move into your power and your explosivity. And indoor competitions, hopefully, in normal years. The indoor competition season comes round. We often have a competition in December, it used to be called CESA, against colleges and universities. I'm not sure what it's called at the moment, but hopefully that one will take place this coming year. And we usually have a good team there because it's at our home track, Lee Valley. And then moving into the normal indoor season, we've actually, the national championships, we usually take a team along to Sheffield to compete at the national indoor championships, those that have the qualifying standards. And for the last umpteen years, we've had teams going across there and competing and getting to semi-finals or finals or whatnot, which is a fantastic experience. We'll stay away in the hotels and it's a really good asset, that one. And we'll help set you your competition plan. Now, again, it depends if you're full-time or part-time with us. If you're only part-time and you've got another coach, we can discuss with them about your competition plan and how you're going to structure throughout the whole year. If you're full-time with us, then just you and I will have, or you and the other coaches will have our conversation. Okay, so what else? Now, the other areas that we can put into is work experience. So we can help, as I say, to provide your work experience. Now this year, well, previous years, we've set up coaches with the Dwayne Chambers Performance Academy. We actually have around 3 current students who are also now paid coaches with the Dwayne Chambers Performance Academy. They started as work experience, and then a few of them actually went on to become paid coaches. I've also set up quite a lot of work experience for students at the Lee Valley Athletics Centre, whether that's helping out with coaching sessions or just on competitions and events. Again, we've got a number of our students that have actually ended up paid members of staff at Lee Valley through those sorts of opportunities as well. So hopefully we can, for one, help you get meaningful work experience placements. For 2, you may even get paid work in the long run from that. We also like to help you out with things like your hydration and nutrition. So, for example, Martina put together a nutrition workshop not long ago with the students, where we talked about everything they should be having, shouldn't be having, why things are good or bad, and helped athletes and students be able to actually analyse their own nutrition. We like to do those sorts of things. We talk a lot about hydration and the importance, your lifestyle in general, your sleep, your recovery, all sorts of different areas that come to it. And they're what hopefully makes you a successful athlete, successful student, and a successful person in general. The fact that most of our coaches and members of staff have actually come from an athletics background themselves or a competitive background, we can provide a lot of psychological support as well, be it around training, around balancing your training with the rest of your life, around competitions. We provide quite a lot of psychological support with that too. And of course, being part of a team that's not just a coach and the athletes, it's also the strength and conditioning, it's the therapy, it's everything that comes in with it, and hopefully have a lot of fun and make some friends in with that too. So a few of our previous students, I asked a little while ago to write down some comments and feedback from their own experiences in the academy. And here's just a few of the statements that I pulled out from there. Inez, she was one of our sprinters who's now moved on to university, and she said some fantastic things about how much she learned being there about herself, not only just her athletics, about the importance of discipline, how she became a better version of herself. Cavell speaks about how the academy is the cream of the crop of athletics academies, which I loved. He's still a student athlete with us, and is one of the ones that is working in a paid role for both the Lee Valley Athletics Centre and the Dwayne Chambers Performance Academy. Abdu is another student athlete that came to us years ago. He then went on to Loughborough University, and he said that being part of the programme has led to his success at Loughborough. And he also spoke about how much fun he had while he was with us. So hopefully that just gives you a little bit of a point of view from actually some of the athletes that have trained with us. So James is obviously going to follow on with a little bit more information about the actual college, but just a few things I want you to make sure that you've thought about. Have you actually applied for the college? We have a practical open day coming up, thankfully, all being well and things going to plan. The 15th of April, we have our first practical open day at the Lee Valley Athletics Centre. You will have to sign up for that in advance and tell us you're coming, because we need to sign you in to the Lee Valley Athletics Centre and book your slot, because they only have a certain number of spaces available with the current climate. So if you do want to come to that, you can actually meet the coaches and have a go. It will no doubt, I'm sure, be on the outdoor track. We need to have your correct contact details, so make sure that we've got that. If you've not been receiving our emails and things, you need to make sure that we've got all that. And further questions we're going to come to shortly. Make sure you're popping those into the question boxes, but James will come on to those and we'll answer those at the end. That's everything from me. Hopefully that's given you a little insight into what we do, but if you come along to a practical open day, you'll get some more from that also. All right, thank you very much. Back to you, James.
Thanks, Jen. Right, hopefully you guys found that really informative, and I will share my screen to get my talk up. Okay, so Jen has talked to you about the athletics specifically and gone really in depth on the training and the package there. So I'm going to talk to you a bit more broadly about the college and where sports sits and what courses you could potentially look to do, and a couple of other things before we move on to questions. So firstly, I mean, Gem's already looked at it, and you might have seen it from the socials, but the BSc Bears emblem, if you see that around, that's our brand, that's our sort of logo for the sports department at the college, to borrow that American collegiate style and bring all the different academy programs into under one identity. Some buy into it more than others. Athletics is one that buy into it more, actually. Athletics and basketball are the two main ones. So who are we? So BSc is the sports department for Barnet Southgate College. We're one of the largest and most successful FE sports providers in London and certainly the country as well. So how do I quantify that? I make that statement based on the amount of learners we have associated with sport at the college, either studying academically or as student athletes. I quantify that through the range of programs and provision that we have in the academy side of things. And lastly, I do that through the success that we've had through team titles, collective individual athlete accolades, progressing student athletes onto higher levels of the sport and education, either university sport, United States scholarships, professional sport, one of those different exit routes. So all those things come together to make us one of the largest and most successful around associated with sports within the further education sector. The current academies we have are the Tottenham Hotspur male football programme, the Tottenham Hotspur female football programme, and supporting the Women's Super League Academy as well. The NFL Academy, the Lee Valley Athletics programme, the England Boxing Academy, and the Wimex Tennis Academy, the scholarship package we have, the Basketball Academy, and we have a leadership programme for those who study sport but don't want to or aren't right for one of the academy programmes. The college is spread across North London in terms of our campuses and our delivery sites. We have the Southgate campus in Enfield. We have Southgate campus in Enfield, both the Wood Street campus in High Barnet, and then we have the Colindale campus in the west of Barnet. What you study dictates which campus that you would be based at for your learning. So the predominant base for the sports team is the Southgate campus. So if you came to study an academic sports course, a BTEC or something like that, you would be based at Southgate. If you did A-levels, you would be based at Wood Street. If you wanted to do construction, you'd be based at Colindale, for example. Officially, you can do any qualification at the college and be on the athletics programme. The athletics programme is one of the ones which probably lends itself most to having a wide selection of the courses that the college has to offer. And if you want to have a look at the various course offers that the college has, check out the website. Mostly though, students on the athletics will either do a sports department course, a BTEC or an MVQ or a YMCA, or the A-level package. We might have some do business. So I spoke to our business curriculum manager earlier today about lending out the timetable to be more friendly to student athletes, and they'll be doing that next year. But generally, A-levels, sports or business, and they will be the main course areas that the student athletes will do. And then the sports department covers everything from my side of the department. So I manage all the non-academic side of sport, the academies, the enrichment, the gym, the coach development, etc., but also and we also have the curriculum side of the department. So Marco is the curriculum manager. He manages the academic side and all the courses related to sport. So what do we do? So when you come to the college, you're on something called a study program. So that brings together a lot of different ingredients to form your package and your learning whilst you're with us. So the main ingredient, the main component will be your main qualification. So it could either be the BTEC in sport, level 3 perhaps, or the A-levels that you might pick. They're your main qual. They're the biggest part of what you do. Of course, in this case, you'd be having your athletics academy coaching and the high quality coaching and training that's part of that. That's another component of your study program. There's English and maths. If you haven't achieved a grade 4 in your GCSEs, whether you're awarded this summer. And then there's work experience as well. Jim's already spoken about how the athletics program can help with some of that work experience, but depending on what course you do, will will dictate how much, or if you need to do work experience, but work experience is a component of most of the courses except A levels. And then you have your tutorial and pastoral provision and packages there. So the tutor sessions and the learner services providing some pastoral stuff around finances or around knife crime, whatever it might be. So all those things come together to form your study program at the college. We partner with some industry leading organisations to deliver them, in this case with Gemma and Mark and their team there, and utilise some world-class facilities to base our programmes out of. And that's not illustrated any better than within the athletics programme, where we utilise Lee Valley, and you student athletes would get access to that through our training sessions and the membership. And you couldn't ask for a better athletics training facility in the whole of the UK, if not even wider than that. Additionally, one of the areas where I say is a real strength of the college and of our partnership programs is the staff that we have and the access you have to a really knowledgeable staff base and a staff with lots of experience there. So a lot of the staff, both with our partners and employed at the college, have come from industry to then work at the college, or even a lot of us are still working in industry alongside what we do with the college program. So clearly on the athletic side of things, Gemma's already spoken about the biographies of all of the staff members there, and in Gemma and Mark, you've got two really experienced former athletes and currently really experienced trainers. Mark in particular works with a lot of athletes within professional sport, outside of athletics even. So real good amount of contacts, real good amount of experience there. On the college side of things, I myself work for the Premier League outside of my main job with the college, working with Premier League football club academies and first teams. More recently, we have a lot of currently practicing semi-professional coaches. We have the England national C team physiotherapist who heads up our clinic at the college and also teaches. We have sports rehabilitators, sports therapists. We have level 5 personal trainers, former sports development managers. So all these components come together to mean that there's a lot of expertise and a lot of knowledge within the staff at the college and we bring those skill sets back to make our programs more innovative and try and improve them and give our students the best possible opportunities and experiences whilst they're with us. And what are we preparing you for? Well, essentially, we're preparing you for the next thing that you do after us. So clearly, you're here with us to get your qualification, whether that's A levels, BTECs, whatever it might be, and that will take you on to university, or it might take you on to employment. Whatever it is, we're looking to progress you to the next level in that regard. And clearly, on the athletic side of things, we're looking to progress you to the next level as an athlete. In addition to those things, we're also wanting to develop the life skills in you. So developing those behaviours, those character traits, that resilience, to help you on your journey to the next steps in life. So you're becoming an independent and responsible adult. So these are some of the partners that we work with across the Academy's programs. Each academy functions in a very similar way. So they're about embedding that training or games program into your study program. How much and how each of them work varies a little bit. In the case of the athletics, as Jem's already spoken about, there's no games program, although there might be occasional competition meets. So it's much more training, regular training on offer, up to 4 sessions a week. And it's much more of a training development program. We say the football, there's obviously team games, fixtures, etc. So that's part of the provision as well. But they all function in a similar way, and some of the best names out there in terms of who to work with. So a little bit of a history on the athletics program. It's I think it's in more than its 9th year actually. I think I've got that wrong. I think it's more in like its 11th year actually. But it's really evolved in the last sort of 4 or 5 years to really catering for a lot of elite sprinters, and some of the guys and girls in our program at the moment are up there with some of the top talent in the country in terms of their events. And we were even fortunate enough a couple of years ago to have George get his Great Britain vest and become a national champion under 20 in the 110 metre hurdles. And that's kind of just opening the door to what if it hadn't been for COVID, I think we could have even achieved some more honours like that with some of the students we have in the programme at the moment. There's a little outline of some championships that we've had in the last 2 to 3 years. Gemma's mentioned the CESA champs. We've also had students go on to the indoor national champs. We don't compete a lot as a programme, as a collective, because within the sport of athletics, most of the competitions are done through the athletic club circuit. But what we can enter, we do. And certainly in the case of the indoor national championships, if students run a time or achieve a mark that's good enough to qualify, we have looked to support our student athletes whilst they're at the international champs, even if they're going there with their clubs. I'm not going to dwell too much on this. Suffice to say that if you are interested in each curriculum area's talk, we had a virtual open day at the start of March, and each curriculum areas were delivering their various talks about how they develop their curriculum and what's on offer within each of their curriculums. Those recordings are available on the website if you want to look back and learn specifically, say for example, about A-levels. If you want to listen to Sue from A-levels talk about that department and what you can do and how they teach, that's available on the website, and you can watch the recording of that. Similarly with business, I did the sports one alongside a colleague from the academic side. But yeah, you can look at how the curriculums are developed in those talks. So I mentioned the academic offers and what you can do. So I'll just cover the 2 key areas here, those being sport and A-levels really. Those are the main ones that I mentioned are readily available, and most of the student athletes do, although you can do others, as I mentioned. So within the sports department, in terms of the BTECs, we have BTECs ranging from level 1 all the way up to level 3 and level 3 extended diploma. So level 1 is the lowest qualification we do. Level 3 extended diploma is the highest qualification we do at an FE level. Where you start is dictated by what GCSEs and what entry requirements you're coming in with. So if you have 2 GCSEs of any grade, you would start at the level 1 level. That's a 1-year qualification. If you do that, start there, move up. After a year, then you'd move into the level 2. Or alternatively, you could come straight in at the level 2 if you have 4 GCSEs grades 9 to 3, sorry. 4 GCSEs grades 9 to 3, you can come straight into the BTEC level 2. If you do, that's a 1-year qualification as well. Do that, do well for a year, you move up to the level 3 or the level 3 extended diploma. The level 3 diploma in sport is 5 GCSEs grades 9 to 4 to get into, and the extended diploma is 6 GCSEs grades 9 to 4 to get onto. And you must have maths and English to get onto the extended diploma as well. The level 3 and the level 3 extended diploma are the same level, but the extended diploma you do more modules, hence why it's worth more UCAS points. So the level 3 diploma is worth the equivalent of 2 A levels. The level 3 extended diploma is the equivalent of 3 A levels. And they're 2-year courses, 2-year programs. Both the level 3s are. Additionally, in sport, we have the vocational route. So we have the level 2 MVQ certificate in activity leadership and coaching. That's a 1-year qualification, much more practical. That's about going to schools, going to community events and building up a portfolio of work and delivering and learning on the job, so to speak, and doing a bit of underpinning knowledge and theory back at the college. And the entry requirements for that are 4 GCSEs grades 9 to 3. Then we also have the YMCAs in personal training and gym instruction, level 2 and level 3. They are industry-specific qualifications. To get straight onto them, you have to start at the level 2. You can't go straight onto the YMCA level 3 because you need it's like a national governing body coaching badge. You can't go straight onto level 3. You have to start at level 1, level 2. So the entry requirement for the level 2 diploma in sport is 5 GCSEs grades 9 to 4. and they're both 1-year qualifications in their own right. So you do the YMCA level 2 for a year, move on, you do the YMCA level 3 the following year. Once you've achieved the YMCA level 3, you're a fully qualified personal trainer and gym instructor, so you can start your own business, take clients, get a job at the gym. So there's a really great qualification if that's what you want to go into. What I would say about all these, whilst they're brilliant if they're the areas that you want to go into, if you're considering university, or if you definitely want to go to university, you will need to go down the BTEC or the A-level route. These qualifications won't get you into university. But what I would say is, if you are not sure, go down the BTEC route. If you want to go into sport, that is, go down the BTEC route. A lot of students may do the level 3 diploma or level 3 extended diploma for a couple of years, decide after that that they don't want to go to university just yet, and they want to do almost like a gap year type thing, or don't want to get a job just yet, and then they'll do the YMCA for a year after that, because you're funded for at least 3 years. We've got a large selection of A-levels at the college to choose from. They're listed on the screen now, most of them. Again, if you want to go and have a look at the full array, go to the website. There's not many A-levels that we don't do. The only ones we don't do are modern foreign languages and geography, funnily enough. But we do pretty much everything else, and we have also PE. So if you wanted to do sport, but you definitely want to go down the A-level route, we do have PE as an A-level also. The entry requirements for the A-level department are 6 GCSEs, grades 9 to 4, including maths and English, and they generally like grade 6s in the subjects that you want to study, although they can show some flexibility. For example, we know that not every school does GCSE PE. If you've started A-levels elsewhere, you can possibly join in the second year, but we need to check the exam body, awarding body that you're doing at your current institution, and also the modules that you've done in your progress as well, really. But if you've done 2 years of A-levels elsewhere, you can't come to us and say, I want to retake my second year. That's not doable, I'm afraid. Or if you've taken A-levels elsewhere, and you decide, you know what, I've had a COVID interrupted year, it's been awful, I want to start again, that's possible. You may have seen the TAS icon earlier. So TAS stands for Talented Athlete Scholarship Scheme. We are a TAS dual career accredited institute, which essentially means that we have an accreditation that shows we are experts in managing talented student athletes in education. So if you're 16 to 24 and you're in full-time education, that's a marker to say that you should come to Barnet Southgate College, because we have a talented athlete policy. We have the skills, knowledge and expertise to make sure that student athletes succeed both in their sport and in their academics, and the two don't conflict with each other, and they, as much as possible, try and complement each other and take the pressure off the student athlete. We were the first FE college in the country to have this status, and we're still the only FE college in London and the South East, or one of only 2, I think, to have it in London and the South East, to have TAS dual career status. If you are a TAS dual career athlete, student athlete with us, even if you, I mean, in this case, you're all athletes, but if a gymnast or swimmer came to us, we do provide additional support workshops for the TAS athletes. So it could be psychology workshops, nutrition workshops. We had a UK anti-doping workshop earlier in the year also. So all those kind of holistic development programs that will help the student athlete in their journey outside of just their physical training and their actual course. As I mentioned, we also have a physio clinic at the college, so any knocks, any niggles, you get free treatment. So you've got 2 avenues of treatment in the case of the athletics program. You've got the college, or you've got the trackside therapy through the Imperium staff there. We also have 2 gyms at the Southgate campus. So of course, you've got access to the gym at Lee Valley as well on the athletics program, but we have the original gym at the college and the NFL Academy training gym. The NFL Academy gym, you have to go in with an S&C coach. So sometimes the athletics program might have this S&C at the college, but most of the time they use Lee Valley, because why wouldn't you? Although the NFL Academy gym's an elite facility in its own right, of course. But the original gym's open to students whenever to drop in, free membership whenever they can during opening hours, and we have staff to support the programs there as well. There's also transport put on for you students to and from campuses to training as well. So you don't have to worry about getting to Lee Valley yourself unless you wanted to, which you can. So just finally from us, what do we expect from you for all this? So it essentially boils down to 4 things. Turn up on time, apply yourself and meet your coursework deadlines. And if you do those things, there's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of thought invested into the student athlete experience with us. And there'll be a lot of opportunities that present itself. You will not fail at progressing as a student athlete if you come to us on these programs, on this program in particular. But you've got to meet us halfway by putting in the work and making sure you're doing what you need to do, particularly in the classroom, but also on the track, but particularly in the classroom, because ultimately the academics come first. And if you're not doing what you need to do in the classroom, if you're not applying yourself, if you're not attending, if you're not punctual, then you run the risk of failing, and we won't allow that to happen. So to accommodate that, or to rectify that, we may have to start taking some of the sport away from you. We might have to say you can't train today. You've got to come and catch up on your work. And any one of you with ambitions to go to the States maybe in the future in the scholarship, the academics are pivotal to that. You will not get into an NCAA college without the academics. So it's about learning those lessons now, and ultimately you're here to make sure that you get your qualifications. So education is the priority, although of course the sports are very important to us as well. So that's it from me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and go back, and let's have a look. Gemma can join me. Got a few questions here. Okay. First question: how do you sign up for the practical day on the 15th? Well, in the person's case who's asked the question, you're already signed up because you've applied to the program. If depending on which attendees are on the webinar, if you haven't signed up to the program, haven't applied to the program, in the chat, if he hasn't done already, Nick will put a link to the sports registration page. But if you've been receiving emails from me and receiving emails from Gemma, you've applied. So you don't have to do that again. But if you haven't, do that, and we will invite you to the 15th and give you all the details.
That's it. And that open date on the 15th, we will have to get definites for who does want to attend, because we will actually have to book your space at the Lee Valley Athletics Centre.
Yeah.
So it will be a case of, as James says, we're going to send out some more information, but it will be a case of you replying by email or whatever method of communication to say that you definitely want to come, and that will then get you signed up. But we will send out further information on that to you soon.
Thank you. Next question: are we able to do more than one sport at the college? No, you can only be on one academy whilst you're at the college, because you will not have the time to do more. Alongside your course, you won't have the time. A lot of the time the trainings are scheduled at the same time, so you have to commit to one sport. Nothing more really to add on that one, really. So that's that question. Is there a selection process for the Athletics Academy? If so, what is it? As I have applied for the NFL Academy also. So I'll let Jem chime in on this after me. But with the Athletics Academy, as Jem's already mentioned, we cater for that range of levels, individual sport. So we could have the best athlete in the country on it. We could also have someone who has never done athletics before, but is really committed, keen, a good student, good learner, committed to fitness and everything in between. So there's no selection process in the sense of, oh, you're rubbish, you're not in. It's about more your approach and your attitude. So the practical days are more just for us to get a chance to see you, for you to get a chance to see us and Jem and the coaches, and get a feel for the environment. So there's no selection process as such for the academy, like there is for the NFL academy. But at the same time, with the NFL academy, as I mentioned on the talk the other night, the athletics program is the best program, unless you're particularly already playing basketball, for example. If you've applied for the NFL academy and you're not successful, the athletics academy is the best program to fall back on or come into to improve yourself as an athlete, which is ultimately what you want to do. Anything to add on that one, Jem?
I was just going to add that so in with our academy, because we have such a range of athletes, but so many athletes in with it, we have a number of different coaches, and what that allows us to do is then we split it down into groups. So for example, if you've got a 10-second 100-meter runner, which we do have, and a 15-second 100-meter runner, you probably won't be training in the same sessions, same groups. You won't be doing your sprints together. You'll be put separately. Okay, so you don't have to have a trial to be of a particular standard. It's more about your outlook and how you're going to apply yourself into your training sessions. And we'll get a feel for that from you coming along to the open events, and you'll get a feel from us. So no, you don't have to be of a specific standard. We'll put you into a grouping and with a coach that's appropriate for your standard and where you're at, so we can cater for all.
Thanks, Jem. Another question: are the training sessions free? Yes, that's part of the benefit of being one of the sports academies at the college, that you have them for free.
And so, can I add into that? We do also,
yeah,
if you're training with us regularly, we do also pay for your membership at the Lee Valley Athletics Centre. So for example, we've got athletes that are part-time with us and part-time with their own coaches at the Lee Valley Athletics Centre. And we actually, now their training external from us is also paid for as far as the track use is concerned. So yeah, if you're training with us regularly, we will actually pay for you to have a membership at the Lee Valley Athletics Centre. So it will help you with your external coaches too.
Thank you, Jem. Just finally, usually, there's another one. What time is the practical day most likely to start?
Ooh,
we haven't confirmed that yet. We're in chats with on the 15th, that is. We're in conversations, Jem's in conversations with you. We were thinking 11, weren't we? Yeah, we were thinking 11, but we will confirm that on the invitation.
Yeah, I just need confirmation from the Lee Valley Athletics Centre, but hopefully it will be around 11-ish. Okay.
Okay.
We had a little one about about the kit. So at the moment, you'll see I'm sporting some of our kit. Now, this is actually some of the previous year's kit. We've changed over slightly this year, and the students are absolutely loving our current kit. So we are going to be going with the same provider, same sort of styles for next year. We're just finalising a couple of things because the providers change a couple of bits as the options. So we're just finalizing a few bits, and again, that's something that we will send out a link to you before you start with us. Sorry, James, you can probably go into a little bit more on that one, but we've got items that you can wear for your training, obviously, and you can purchase that in advance of coming to the college, so that when you do start with us, you already have some kit.
Yeah, so it's night team wear, branded. Like I said, it's hosted by an external company, so they sort it out. Now, there's a sort of bundle price. We put together a couple of different bundles, so however much you want to pay, it varies what you can get. So if you want to pay a bit more, you can get the most amount. If you want to pay a bit less, you can get less. There is also financial support available for students from low-income backgrounds. So there's the bursary at the college. So if your parents earn under a certain amount of money, excuse me, if they earn under a certain amount of money, then you can apply for the bursary, and alongside also the bursary, there's the grant. And if you apply for if you're studying sports and you apply for the grant and you're successful, and next year I think we're going to change it, if you're a student athlete and you apply for the grant and you're successful, that can fund in entirety your kit, so you get it for free. But like I said, it's means tested, so you have to provide evidence of the income of your household. But there's also travel support packages as well.
Also had one about COVID, and so if the current situations carry on and we keep going into these repeated lockdowns, okay, so what we're doing at the moment, actually, because we're part of education, we're quite lucky that the majority of our training at the moment is taking place. So although until the 29th, groups aren't allowed to be training together, because it's part of an education package, we actually have been allowed back to training, and that happened in November's lockdown as well. The Lee Valley Athletics Centre has been opening specifically for us and staying open for our training sessions so that we can continue providing. But when the full lockdown was in place and no one was in college, we did then provide, so what we have is we set all your sessions, we do some sessions over Zoom like mobility and things like that, and we set your strength and conditioning for circuits that you can do without requiring equipment. We set your running sessions so that you can go out and either do it at a park or track or wherever's open for you. So we have still been keeping in good contact with our student athletes, and making sure that when they came back to the track, they were in a really good position, which has been fantastic. So when they have returned recently, we've been able to have a number of the students going straight into doing sprints and things because they've been continuing that conditioning work.
Thank you. On the practical day, will we be doing different events?
So the actual practical day won't be your specific events. It's more going to be to get a feel for the coaches and us to get a feel for you. So rather than breaking everyone down into tiny little groups for everything that you're doing, it will be about everyone doing a mass warm up, learning about our different drills, because even if you've got your own coaches, the way that we do drills may be different to your normal coaches. So you'll get a feeling for our kind of generic warm up. And then depending who's there and what coaches, we may well then break off into a little bit of sprint work or a little bit of power work or what have you. But we won't be going into, for example, doing shot put and things like that for the actual purposes of this open day.
Okay, and final question, where can I go to find out more information about the travel support packages? If you go to the website, there should be information about the various bursary packages there on the college website. Alternatively, when you come in to enroll, you can apply for and ask for more information there. I bet Nick's just put a link to it in the chat. So that tells you everything you need to know about the various packages of support. And then when you enroll, that's when you can apply from them. And the sooner you apply, the better, because it's first come, first serve in terms of a finite pot. Okay, that's all the questions answered, and hopefully everyone, you found that really enjoyable and informative. And we will be sending out information to those of you who've applied about the 15th next week, early next week, I would imagine. Please do attend if you get it, and if you can't attend, please let us know, and we look forward to seeing you there. Additionally, as Gemma said in her talk, if you haven't applied for your course yet, please do so, because this is a bit of a different year for our recruitment. Usually we form it as part of the day, but haven't been able to do those yet, so because of obvious reasons. So go onto the website, apply for the courses that you want to do, because it's just an application, and it means that we can then focus on the athletics, and the whole process will go a bit smoother. So apply for your course. You can apply for as many courses as you want. You're not held to anything. And if you have any questions about the athletics or about college, by all means get in touch with Gemma and myself, and we will be happy to answer them. But thank you for coming. See you on the 15th, and take care and stay safe.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for watching. Bye bye.